Whatever you think of Barbieheimer, the explosion of cultural fascination with both films is basically a testament to our love affair with human creativity. For once, studios took a risk on a few things that were truly new and different, and they were rewarded with massive audiences and a flood of national discourse that has briefly recreated a monocultural event, the likes of which I really thought we might never see again. Ironically, this moment of delight in human imagination comes at a time when the very essence of creativity is actually under threat. Big tech, in order to monopolize the new world of AI, is attempting to feed their models with the whole world of human ingenuity, scraping every bit of language, articulated vision, and novel innovation that they can get their hands on so that their machines might impersonate a bastardized version of the human spark. These so-called large language models can't create anything new, but by harvesting our musings, our pictures, our conversations, our stories, companies are hoping that the bots can be trained to mimic us well enough that we will accept their AI-derived products. Basically, they're trying to eat our souls and then sell them back to us. But increasingly, artists and creatives are refusing to be food for bots that would replace them. Part of this resistance, of course, is located in Hollywood, where rules around AI use are at the center of the actors and writers' strike. Studios want to be able to scan actors and use their likeness forever for whatever they want, obliterating the livelihoods of many actors, including extras. Studios also want to be able to use AI to write first drafts of new shows and films, bringing writers in at the end just to polish those scripts at a lower pay rate. Both of these things, of course, are assaults on workers' pay, and that is really crucial. But they're also an assault on the very essence of human creativity. Instead of a human vision, born of whatever collection of experiences brought that particular person to that particular moment, studios want to use AI to barf up a regurgitated amalgamation of the creativity that it has pilfered from humanity. A pure embodiment of this struggle is coming from an unexpected place, the world of fan fiction writers. Now, these authors delight in expanding the universes of their favorite shows, books, characters. They take inspiration from another human spark and let their own imaginations run wild. They create communities around these expanded visions. They author stories primarily for the sheer joy of creativity, since copyright laws keep them from directly monetizing their work. And many were horrified to see their works scraped and ingested by AI. Now, the way these authors figured out their work had been fed to the machines is actually kind of interesting in and of itself. One of the bots exhibited detailed knowledge of something called the Omegaverse, which is apparently a specific sexual dynamic that only exists in the fan fiction world. That's all I really know about it. There was no way the bots could have known about the Omegaverse if they had not been trained on reams of fan fiction. Rather than accepting this unauthorized pilfering of their labors of love, fan fiction writers staged a revolt. Some decided they would no longer post their stories publicly, instead sending to private lists or taking other steps to keep their work private and walled off from the machines. They've also been pushing popular fan fiction sites to ban AI-generated content. A number also mounted a unique protest of small-scale sabotage. Authors banded together for a write-a-thon in which they attempted to produce as much garbage fanfic as they possibly could in an attempt to confuse the machines. Actually love the ingenuity of this approach. Creative community using creative mischief to mess with the bots. It's quite beautiful, actually. More mainstream artists are also mounting resistance of their own, using the legal system and demands for payment. Thousands of authors, including James Patterson, signed an open letter demanding permission and compensation for the use of their work. Comedian Sarah Silverman is among a growing number of creatives who have filed lawsuits against big tech companies for the unauthorized use of their work to train AI models. The news industry has also been fighting to get paid for use of their archives, and the AP has actually reached some sort of a deal with OpenAI to license their news content. Well, I can imagine the big boys, like the New York Times, let's say, cutting deals with AI companies. Who's going to look out for the product of smaller scale creators? Because while you may not see yourself as a creator, to be human is to create. It's to tell stories, to share thoughts, to build, to find delight in sparks of inspiration. AI will never be able to actually do these things, but I think the attempt to vacuum up as much human creative content as possible from works of art to Facebook musings should be properly seen as an existential threat. The goal of these tech oligarchs is to make AI's regurgitated derivative products good enough that these products come to dominate the cultural landscape and certainly the marketplace, devaluing human creativity and squeezing it down into increasingly cramped corners of our society. Technology, which was supposed to bring the marvel of human creativity to global audiences, instead being used to quash human creativity's centrality to our own society. It's not that the drive to create will be extinguished, of course not. If you can make a living from artistic expression, then the day job is certainly going to take precedence. If AI is creating our music and our movies because it's cheaper than paying real human beings, we're basically marking an endpoint for the advance of human creativity on a national or international scale. Because AI cannot create anything new, only recycle the old, leaving us in an endless cultural loop living off the scraps of recombined Friends episodes and Star Wars spin-offs. Tech giants vacuuming up every human labor of love, flight of fancy, creative spark, and lots of drivel and mundane meanderings besides, all to train AI models to serve their own profit-making purposes. I mean, guys, what could go wrong here? In other words, you might have liked Barbie, but are you really gonna like Barbie 5, brought to you by the bots? Perhaps better to reflect on Oppenheimer, where we track how humanity invents the tools of our own destruction. And Sagar, you know, it really got to me the fan fiction revolt.
Hey guys, if you want to see what I had to say to Krystal's monologue, not just this one, all of them, going back to the very beginning, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com.